A very graceful morning to our respected principal ma'am, honorable coordinators, teachers, and my dear friends. I'm Rishika Shukla from class 12 competent, and today we've all gathered here for the program Emotion. A heartfelt tribute to Rabindranath Tagore and his timeless literary brilliance. Through the enactment of Tagore's iconic plays, the students of class 12 will bring alive his thoughts, emotions, and philosophy on stage. Each performance is an homage to his work of art, humanity, devotion, and truth, celebrating the legacy of Rabindranath Tagore through expression and creativity. Let us begin with a gentle glow of faith that reflects hope, wisdom, and new beginnings. A spark that doesn't just shine but inspires. With this spirit, I respectfully invite our respected principal ma'am, along with our esteemed coordinators, Gopa Bhattacharya ma'am, Padmavati Pandey ma'am, Vaishakhi ma'am, Geeta Joshi ma'am, and Aradhana ma'am, to kindly come forward and grace the occasion by lighting the lamp. May this sacred flame illuminate our minds and guide us forward.
Mother, I bow before you with a restless heart. The throne of Tripura stands firm, yet it has no hair. Mother, bless me
जहाँ आस्था के नाम पर बलि दी जाती है। और इसी मंदिर की सीढ़ियों पे एक असहाय महिला अपने सबसे बड़े दुख के साथ खड़ी है और उसका ये सवाल सदियों पुराने इस अंधविश्वास को चुनौती देने वाला है।
Mother, they call you mother, yet you don't sleep with blood of my only companion. Where is my boat? Where is the light that loved me?
Little sister, the sacrifice is over. The goddess has accepted the offering. It is the law of the temple.
Whose law takes it? Yours or that of the stone figure? I saw my own eyes last in God. Is the mother of the universe truly hungry for the blood of the innocent?
Raghupati enters, his presence cold and commanding.
Today is to worship the sacred rites. Yes, while this pagan polluted sanctuary with their tears. Blood is the food of the goddess. Without it, sun will not rise and the fields will wither.
Your body is blood? Then she is no mother, she's a demon.
Drive her away before her blasphemy brings a curse upon us all.
And so, a single question shakes the silence of the temple. A question which dares to challenge the faith itself. But in a place ruled by fear and tradition, every question comes at a cost.
प्रतीत होता है आज मंदिर की स्थिति देखकर राजा मोहन का भी अत्यंत भयभीत है। लगता है रक्त और भय से भरे इस माहौल को बदलने का समय आ गया है। पर क्या सदियों पुरानी परंपराएं इतनी आसानी से बदल पाएंगी?
Raghupati, I am walking the street today. I see fair tribes of my subjects and blood to the letters of his members. My soul is broken. The king rules the land, but the priest rules the soul. You are the distinct Lord in fear of your ancient customs. I rule by the grace of the merciful God, not the vengeful one. From now on I proclaim, no animal shall be slaughtered within the boundaries of your ground. Let the mother be worshipped in class, incense and love.
Sire, the people, they are afraid by the lack of promise.
Let the people know that mercy is the biggest way. Sanbal owns the decree on every pillar. Any man who spills blood in the name of sacrifice shall be banished from the kingdom of Tripura. Unify the priest, unify the mother. She will leave this temple only that once she leaves, your crown will fall into the dust.
The king has spoken, mercy over blood. But when power and belief collide, a degree alone cannot change hearts. The storm has only just begun.
लगता है आज रानी गुनावती भी गहरी सोच में। प्रतीत होता है उनके मन में कई चिंताएं और सवाल हैं और उन्हें समझ नहीं आ रहा कि सही उत्तर क्या होगा।
Pandit ji, the king has forbidden my vote. I promised the goddess 100 goats, but now he has closed the gates of the temple to the blood of my offering.
The king has grown proud and thinks that his God are even greater than the sacrifice. Don't worry, your prayers will be answered, but in forms of a sacrifice. But this time, goddess demands a higher price.
Yes, I'll get my jewel, my gold, anything.
No, she demands royal blood. Only the blood of a king or one of his knights touches the altar with the cords lifted.
Blinded by hope and fear, the queen makes her choice, unaware of the darkness it would unleash. For every desperate wish, a price, and this one demands more than she can imagine.
आज मंदिर के भीतर भी जय सिंह अकेला है। एक तरफ उसके पिता का आदेश, दूसरी तरफ उसका अपना कर्म। आज उसे एक ऐसा फैसला लेना है जो उसकी आत्मा को हमेशा के लिए बदल देगा।
Is this your will, mother, or the will of the man I call father? He asked me to kill. He asked me to strike down the king who seeks only peace. My mind is stopped.
Aparna enters quietly. Jesse, come away. This place smells of death. Come to the meadows where the living breathe.
I cannot, Aparna. My father has commanded a deed that will either kill my soul or destroy the world.
Raghupati enters from the shadows.
Jesse, the hour is near. The king comes tonight to pray. Bring his blood to the altar. You shall be the savior of Tripura. And remember, do not falter.
Torn between duty and conscience, Jason stands at the edge, where one step leads to obedience and the other to the truth. But remember, not all choices lead a way back.
रात काफी गहरी हो चुकी है। राजा गोविंद अभी अपनी प्रजा की प्रार्थना के लिए बंधे रहे हैं, पर शायद वो इस बात से अनजान है कि एक भयानक सच्चाई उनका इंतजार कर रही है। आज बलि किसकी होगी, एक राजा की या सदियों पुरानी एक परंपरा की?
Father, give me the strength to lead my people toward life. And if my life is required, then take it.
Jason steps forward. Raghupati watches eagerly.
Your Majesty, the priest says that the goddess thirsts for royal blood. She demands a sacrifice.
That's right, Jesse. If the priest says it's holy, then why do you hesitate?
Because I have found a higher royalty than a crown. I have found a royalty of a blood that loves. Mother, we want sacrifice. I am the son of the priest, the lord of this temple. I offer you the blood of your most faithful servant.
Jesse, go!
Save the world from another sacrifice.
Speak to me, Adam. Speak to me. I gave you what you wanted. I gave you my heart. But in return, I got nothing. There is no mother here. There is no mother without love. The sacrifice is complete. Not of a goat, not of a king, but of an ego that demands its blood.
Raghu, speak now. Speak. He's with the stars.
Come, Aparna, lead me. I am blind. I want to see the world through your eyes. There is no mother here. The goddess has fled.
In the end, the greatest sacrifice was not of the king, but of a soul that chose love over blind faith. And as the temple falls silent and neutral choices, that compassion was the only offering the divine ever needed. And so, as the temple falls silent, not from fear, but from the realization that faith without compassion always loses its meaning.
जब अंधविश्वास टूटता है, तभी सत्य का जन्म होता है, और सत्य हमेशा न्याय के साथ ही जीता है।
A tradition was questioned, a choice was made, but a sacrifice changed everything.
आर्या, याद रखिए, बलिदान हमेशा शरीर का नहीं होता। कई बार सोच का बलिदान भी सबसे बड़ा परिवर्तन लेके आता है।
Exactly, because true devotion is not only found in rituals, but also in the minds of people.
याद रखिए, भक्ति का अर्थ बलि नहीं है, भक्ति का अर्थ संवेदना है।
Perhaps that was the only truth we were meant to remember.
और शायद यही सच हमेशा से रहेगा।
What a powerful and thought-provoking performance by Class 12A. Your expression, depth, and portrayal truly brought the essence of Tagore's vision alive. Now, moving ahead. curiosity and helped us grasp the true meaning of learning. The story acts as a mirror to a system that may appear complete on the surface, yet silently loses its soul within. With this thought-provoking message, I now invite class 12 active to present their performance. Let's put our hands together to welcome. A very warm morning to our honorable principal ma'am, coordinators, distinguished teachers, and my dear friends. Today, we invite you all to pause and reflect. In a world that proudly celebrates education, we seldom stop to question its true essence. We often measure success through marks, ranks, and results. Yet somewhere along the way, we begin to overlook something which is far more fundamental, that is understanding. What is education if it does not awaken thought? What is knowledge if it does not inspire curiosity? And is a mind truly educated when it can repeat every word flawlessly but fails to grasp their meaning? This is not merely a story. It is a mirror, a reflection of a system that appears complete on the surface, yet silently loses its soul within.
A kingdom driven by ambition and the pursuit of perfection, this narrative unfolds a journey where intention is noble, but execution is flawed. As the new system of education begins to take shape, an essential question emerges. Can learning truly exist without freedom? Can knowledge grow where curiosity is restrained? We now take you to the royal court, where the king, in his desire to illuminate every mind of his realm, sits in council with his supposedly knowledgeable ministers. However, soon enough, he loses sight of what it truly means to be educated.
If I may, there is a matter of great importance which requires your consideration.
Speak.
Beyond the boundaries of our kingdom, across the vast land, foreign administrators have begun introducing sweeping reforms, particularly in education.
These reforms, Your Majesty, are highly structured and are producing results that many deem extraordinary.
Results, you see. On what grounds of yours are these success measured?
By discipline, Your Majesty, by uniformity, by the ability of every learner to produce knowledge with precision and consistency.
In such systems, there is little room for deviation. Every individual is shaped to follow a defined path, particularly.
It is an humble submission, Your Majesty, that adopting such a system could elevate the intellectual stature of your entire kingdom.
Then why has this not already been done? If such systems are capable of producing excellences in my kingdom, then my kingdom shall not remain behind. You two, step forward.
At your command, Your Majesty.
You have heard what has been spoken in this court. I must entrust you with a task of utmost importance. Look at this creature here. So simple, so limited. And yet, even this palace shall not remain untouched by knowledge. Not a single being under my rule shall remain untrained, unshaped, or even unrefined. I do not seek imitation. I demand perfection. Proceed and bring results worthy of this throne.
Majesty, we will construct a system that will leave no room for uncertainty. Every thought will be guided, every answer will be defined.
Very well then, you have my authority.
The king's rigid vision of education had begun to dominate the entire kingdom. An education which was bound by discipline, repetition and memorization. Knowledge was no longer explored but controlled. Yet far from the royal system, the Gurukul continued to nurture true learning, where teachers guided with patience and valued wisdom over perfection. Learning was connected to life itself, not confined to rules. But as the king's influence spread, such freedom in education was increasingly condemned. And so, we now witness the Gurukul system, the very essence of learning, envisioned by Rabindranath Tagore himself. As we just witnessed how far from the royal system, the Gurukul will now continue to nurture true learning, where the teachers will guide their students with patience and will value wisdom over perfection. Learning will be connected to life and nature, and not confined to rules. But as soon as the king's influence spread, such freedom in education was now condemned. And so, we will now witness the Gurukul system, which confers the very essence of learning, which was envisioned by Rabindranath Tagore.
मही देव निवेदितम् अपि भूरि फलं कर्म धर्मापेतं भवेद् यदि आचर्यत हि तन्नेव.
There is no uniform approach. Each student is thinking differently, and far too much time is being spent on a single concept.
What we have just witnessed is a space where learning is alive, where ideas are exchanged, and understanding grows through dialogue. And so the method that nurtures curiosity is set aside as a new vision of education takes form under the royal command, head scholar and teachers of the kingdom gather to frame policies for teaching the parent as instructed by the king without questioning its purpose.
The observations are made in existing method that structure, discipline, and measurable outcomes.
Yes, it is not invented or difficult thinking. Every student learns differently. There is no uniformity.
But without uniformity, there can be no standard of practice, no consistency, no.
Precisely, education was not reserved for interpretation. It needs to be defined, regulated, and strictly implemented.
Then we must begin by setting fixed rules. Every lesson must follow a predetermined structure.
Each content must be prescribed exactly as deviation and no matter.
Questions will only disturb the flow. They must be clean and efficient, but not completely eliminated.
Yes, students must focus on receiving knowledge, not challenging it.
Repetition should be the core medicine. The more they repeat, the more they repeat.
Retention is output, not interpretation.
And assessments must be based on accuracy. How precisely a student can interpret what has been taught.
Original thought must not interpret
Let's decide a system of education that is controlled, regulated, and
Then we must go and teach the parent what has been taught.
The system of education can now be carefully designed, strictly structured, and firmly controlled by the kingdom scholars under royal command. Every method was fixed and every step defined. To test this vision, the scholars selected a simple, curious parrot, as instructed by the king, to be educated under the new rules. the teachers began shaping its learning through rigid instruction, aiming to measure efficiency and obedience. Yet, beneath this process, a silent conflict emerged between curiosity and conformity.
Where am I? What is this place?
This will be the way His Majesty has entrusted us with. The perfect subject for the demonstration of our system.
Yes, the very example the king envisioned. Even the simplest of minds shall now be trained through discipline.
Then let this be our motto. If this mind can be trained, it will prove the strength of us.
What are you writing there? Can I learn that too?
You will learn what is symmetry.
But I want to understand. Why are things written this way?
Understanding is not required. Accuracy is.
Can I ask questions while learning?
Questions are for those who have earned the right to ask them. So just keep memorizing.
You must only focus on what is taught.
Repeat after me. The sun
The sun
rises in the east.
rises in the east.
Louder, with precision.
The sun rises in the east.
Rises in the east. But I don't understand. Why do I have to do this?
Because repetition leads to perfection.
And perfection is our only goal.
The sun rises in the east. But why? Why do I have to say this again and again and again?
Do not stop. Keep revising.
Again.
The system of education had been fully implemented under strict royal design, where every method was controlled. Curiosity was replaced with repetition, as even a parrot was selected to be trained under this rigid structure, exactly as the king had instructed. The teachers shaped its learning through mechanical instruction. In the next moment, a foreign traveler arriving from distant lands observes this unusual education and is initially impressed by its precision. However, upon asking deeper questions, he is shocked to discover that while direct answers are perfect, indirect understanding is absent, revealing the furnace of such learning.
Your Majesty, we are honored to present before you the outcome of the system you so wisely envisioned. If the education of your kingdom has been implemented.
Every student has been trained with precision and discipline. The results are exact and uniform. This one in particular stands as the finest example of a system success.
And as per your vision, even the simplest of mind have been accommodated in your system.
This is remarkable, Your Majesty. Your kingdom, the system of education, it's incredible.
This was the outcome I had desired.
May I ask you a question or two?
What's going on?
You then, tell me, what all are you studying?
I have studied the solar system.
Very well. From where does the sun rise?
The sun rises from the east.
Very well. Now, why does it appear to rise?
I don't know.
If you just explain the sun rises in the east, you do not know why it appears to rise.
I really don't know that.
But his answers are complete and accurate.
Yes, accurate, but not complete. A mind that repeats without thinking learns nothing at all.
What we have just witnessed was the creation of rigid system that shaped the parrot response through repetition. However, the foreign traveler posed indirect and twisted questions. The parrot failed to understand, exposing the true limitation of its learning. Though it amazed to simple, questions appeared flawless. They were only memorized responses without real comparison. This movement reveals that what seems like education was merely surface, lacking true order and depth.
And if learning becomes nothing more than imitation, then we may achieve perfection in form, but we lose meaning in spirit. So let us strive for an education that does not just create answers, but creates thinkers. So that when we stand before the world, it is not for perfection, but for true understanding. And only then will our efforts truly deserve Shabashiyan.
What we just witnessed was not just the rise of a system, but the quiet loss of true learning, where knowledge was reduced to polished repetition and controlled answers, appearing perfect on the surface, yet hollow within. The parrot, which was trained to respond with precision, could answer the direct questions effortlessly. But the moment meaning was hidden within language, it failed to comprehend, revealing that it had learned words, not wisdom. The traveler's realization shatters this illusion, exposing the cost of mechanical education over true understanding. And so, the message remains, education without understanding is only imitation. Thank you.
A meaningful and reflective performance by Class 12 IQ. You beautifully highlighted the deeper essence of education and left us with something to truly think about. As we move forward, let us remember, every society is built on belief, but the real test begins when those beliefs are challenged. Our next presentation, Malini, is a powerful and thought-provoking play written by Rabindranath Tagore. It explores the conflict between faith, humanity, and the courage it takes to stand for truth, presented by the students of Class 12 aspirants. This performance promises depth, emotion, and a message that resonates beyond the stage. Please give them a big hand.
Good morning, everyone. Before the curtains rise, I want you to take a moment and step back in time with us. Imagine the ancient city of Kashmir. It's a place of heavy stone walls, flickering oil lamps, and people who have followed the same traditions for almost 100 years. Everything is predictable, everything is certain, but today that certainty is about to break. On one side, we see the world of the palace, the world of Princess Malini. She represents a new way of thinking, a belief that moves beyond rituals and rules and focuses instead on something deeper, understanding, compassion, and humanity. On the other side, we see the world of the people, led by Kimakar. He believes just as strongly that traditions must be protected, that if the old ways are questioned, everything that holds society together may begin to fall apart. And they are not shown as antagonists, but as people who are afraid of losing what they have always often, fear is not from our hatred, but from uncertainty. Set against this backdrop of deeply rooted traditions and changing beliefs, the play explores the conflict between rigid orthodoxy and a more compassionate way of thinking. It raises an important question: what truly defines religion? It is strict adherence, or is it kindness and humanity? As you watch, we invite you to notice the moments where things are not clearly right or wrong. Notice the king, who is torn between his duty and his love as a father. Notice Supriya, who stands between loyalty to a friend and loyalty to her own conscience. Through these characters, Malini invites us to reflect on tolerance, inner truth, and the courage to stand by what we belong, even in the face of opposition. We hope this performance not only engages you, but also leaves you with something to think about even after it ends. Thank you, and let the play begin.
जहाँ एक ओर शहर अपनी परंपराओं को थामे हुए है, वहीं दूसरी ओर राजा की पुत्री राजकुमारी मालिनी को एक नई रोशनी मिली है। वो प्रेम और दया की बात करती है, जो पुजारियों द्वारा रचित परंपराओं के लिए खतरा है।
मालिनी, मेरी बच्ची, यह तुमने कैसे वस्त्र पहने हैं? तुम एक राजकुमारी हो। माँ, ये दुनिया भूख से मर रही है। जब आत्मा सत्य की तलाश में है, तो मैं सोना कैसे पहन सकती हूँ? ब्राह्मण वर्ग बहुत क्रोधित है। उनका कहना है कि तुमने राजधर्म के विपरीत एक नई राह चुनी है। वे चाहते हैं तुम्हें राज्य से बहिष्कृत कर दिया जाए।
मालिनी महल के बगीचे में अकेली बैठी है, तभी सुप्रिया प्रवेश करती है।
सुप्रिया, कभी-कभी सत्य का मार्ग बहुत अकेला लगता है। साथ होना आसान है, लेकिन सत्य के लिए खड़े होना कठिन है।
यदि सत्य कठिन है, तो वही सबसे मूल्यवान भी है।
काश लोग समझ पाते कि मेरा उद्देश्य किसी का अपमान करना नहीं, बल्कि प्रेम फैलाना है। एक दिन वे अवश्य समझेंगे।
मालिनी के मन में तूफान था, पर उसके चेहरे पर शांति बनी रही। द्वार के बाहर विद्रोह की भावना व्याप्त है। पुजारियों का मानना है कि मालिनी का नया धर्म उनके प्राचीन धर्म को नष्ट कर देगा।
राजा को निर्णय लेना होगा। क्या तो उन्हें राजकुमारी को राज्य से बहिष्कृत करना होगा, जिन्होंने हमारे देवताओं का अपमान किया है, अन्यथा हम पूरे राज्य को अंधकार में छोड़ देंगे।
यदि किसी व्यक्ति को दूसरा धर्म अपनाना पड़ जाए, तो क्या इसका मतलब ये है कि उसका धर्म कमजोर है? क्या उसमें इतनी खामियां हैं?
सुप्रिया, यहाँ बात कमजोरियों की या खामियों की नहीं है, बल्कि नियम की है। सत्य कठोर होता है, दया की तरह नरम नहीं।
राजा महल में अकेले खड़े हैं, तभी रानी प्रवेश करती है।
महाराज, आप चिंतित लग रही हैं।
एक राजा होना कितना कठिन है। मुझे अपनी प्रजा का भी ध्यान देना है एवं अपनी पुत्री का भी। मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा क्या करूं।
कभी-कभी सही मार्ग वह नहीं होता जो आसान हो, बल्कि वह होता है जो न्यायपूर्ण हो।
राजा के हृदय में एक पिता और शासक का संघर्ष चल रहा था।
मेरे प्रजाजनों, आप मुझसे मेरा दिल मांग रहे हैं। एक पिता अपनी पुत्री को कैसे बहिष्कृत कर सकता है?
एक राजा की कोई पुत्री नहीं होती है। अगर उसका कुछ होता है, तो सिर्फ उसकी प्रजा और उसका राजधर्म।
मालिनी लोगों का सामना करने का निर्णय देती है जो उससे नफरत करते हैं, बल्कि जैसे ही वह बोलती है उनका क्रोध आश्चर्य में बदल देता है।
मैं तैयार हूँ। यदि मेरे चले जाने से आप लोग को शांति मिलती है तो मैं चली जाऊंगी। मेरे पास आप लोग को देने के लिए प्रेम के सिवा कुछ नहीं है।
वह किसी देवी जैसी लगती हैं, हम सब उनसे वह किसी देवी जैसी लगती हैं वह किसी देवी जैसी लगती हैं, हम सब उनसे नफरत नहीं कर सकते।
क्या मालिनी सही में इतनी बुरी है जितना हमें बताया गया है?
नहीं, मैंने उनकी आंखों में केवल दया देखी है। वह तो राज छोड़ने के लिए भी तैयार है। एक स्वार्थी आदमी कैसे कर सकता है?
और कहीं हम जल्दबाजी तो नहीं कर रहे हैं? क्रोध धीरे धीरे प्रश्नों में बदलने लगा। केमांगर परंपराओं की रक्षा के लिए सेना इकट्ठा करने हेतु शहर छोड़ देता है। वह अपने मित्र सुप्रिया को मालिनी पर नजर रखने में छोड़ जाता है, लेकिन सुप्रिया का हृदय बदल जाता है।
मैं तुम्हारे साथ नहीं जा सकती केमांगर। मैंने मालिनी की आंखों में बस सकते देखा है तो तुम किताबों में ढूंढते हो।
तो तुम गद्दार हो। मैं विदेशी सैनिकों को सीमा पर ले आया हूँ। हम बलपूर्वक अपने धर्म की रक्षा करेंगे।
सुप्रिया अकेली खड़ी है।
केमांगर मेरा मित्र है, लेकिन क्या मित्रता अन्याय से बड़ी? नहीं, यदि मैं चुप रही तो मैं भी दोषी हूँ।
तभी केमांगर प्रवेश करता है।
सुप्रिया, तुम यहाँ क्या कर रही हो?
मैं ये सोच रही हूँ कि कौन सही है,
सही वही है जो परंपरा कहती है।
और यदि परंपरा ही अन्याय करने लगे
तो भी हमें उसका पालन करना होगा।
नहीं, मैं इससे सहमत नहीं।
सुप्रिया अपने मित्र और अपनी आत्मा के बीच फंस जाती है। राज्य और मालिनी की रक्षा के लिए वह राजा को केमांगर की योजना के बारे में बता देती है।
केमांगर, तुमने अपने ही आदमी को बुलाया है और इसकी सजा मृत्यु है।
नहीं पिताजी, उन्हें क्षमा कर दीजिए।
सुप्रिया, तुमने मुझे धोखा दिया। अगर तुम्हारा न्याय विश्वास इतना ही महान है, मुझे अपनी ताकत दिखाओ।
सुप्रिया! सुप्रिया! सुप्रिया!
जल्लाद, केमांगर को इसी वक्त मृत्युदंड दिया जाए।
पिताजी, उन्हें क्षमा कर दीजिए।
अब बहुत देर हो चुकी है, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता।
मनुष्य का सबसे बड़ा धर्म प्रेम है। जहाँ करुणा है वहीं शांति है, और जहाँ शांति है वहीं वास्तविक विजय है।
शक्ति और प्रेम के बीच मालिनी एक सेतु की भूमिका निभाती है। वह हमें सिखाती है कि अंतिम विजय शत्रु को मारने में नहीं बल्कि क्षमा करने के साहस में निहित है।
प्रेम ही सबसे
बड़ा सत्य है।
धन्यवाद।
Has ended, but the questions remain. What we just witnessed was a tragedy, but it wasn't a tragedy of villains. It was a tragedy of convictions. Tagore didn't give us a simple happy ending. Instead, he left us with a scene of blood and cry for mercy. Because Tagore wanted to feel the weight of the choices these characters made. When we look at the ending, we have to ask ourselves, who was right? Was it Kemangar, who believed so strongly in his duty and his past that he was willing to destroy anything that stood against it? Was it Supriya, who chose truth over loyalty, even when that truth came at the cost of friendship? Or was it Maya,
greedy king, where workers are exploited in the pursuit of gold. Amidst this darkness emerges Nandini, a fearless spirit who inspires people to seek freedom and rise against oppression. Her courage challenges authority and awakens humanity among the people. Ultimately, the story celebrates the triumph of freedom, love, and human values over greed and control. With such a powerful theme, I now invite Class 12 Bride to present their performance. Let's put our hands together to welcome them.
Respected Principal Ma'am, coordinators, teachers, and everyone present here.
Today, we the students of Class 12 Bright are here to present our story on Rabindranath Tagore, Red Oleanders.
In a world where humans are concerned for what they can get out of each other, out of the soil, or the exploitation of souls,
When human sympathy is forgotten, the red oleander sheds its flower.
the background then is a world based upon the principle that each must fight the other, oppress or be oppressed.
But the world has a startling light, the light of friendship of Ranjan, Nandini, Bhairavi, and Kishori.
There's a king behind networks who never reveals himself.
So he does not know the deep horrors happening in the deep mind.
And then there's our Nandini, free-spirited, fearless, and full of hope. In a world lost in darkness, she enters like a song of freedom.
उड़ा चला जाए रे जहाँ नहीं जाना था वहीं चला हाय रे उम्र का ये ताना बाना समझ न पाए रे जुमा पे को भरमाया नमक लगाए रे के देखे न भागे न जाने न दाए रे दिशाहारा क्या उनको का मुंटा रे
Feelings? What could I do there?
The work there is much simpler than your work in Yakshapuri. Just live a beautiful life with truth and freedom.
A lake cannot run out dancing like a free waterfall.
Are you not afraid, king, of handling the dead wealth of earth?
What is there to fear?
When you dig the earth, you bring up its curse.
Curse?
Yes, the curse of grabbing and killing.
But that only strengthens the walls of my regime.
Your walls will fall apart from around me. I shall be trembled.
I will tread hard that Ranjan and grind him in the dust. Your friendship bears no profit to me, and in my kingdom, anything that bears no profit will be erased from its existence.
Why pretend to frighten me?
What seems small now might soon become unforgettable.
Because not all turning points announce them loudly. Some just happen.
You all have to do the same work daily with no excitement?
We are always digging. We go on raising gold buckets, yet never come to any conclusion. That's why we just buckets to them, and not humans.
Can't they stop digging now?
There is enough on this earth for everyone's need, but never enough to satisfy anyone's need.
When the leaders stop listening to the public, the dawn of the kingdom comes to an end.
And the regime has to collapse.
So, Governor,
Well, my child,
grant us leave for a little. It's the harvesting season.
why aren't the rooms were given you excellent? Much better than the ones at home.
Our legs tremble to even walk straight.
Work all day in those deep dark mines.
Well, we do feel pity. That's why I wanted to try society to do more talks in the evening.
That won't do, sir.
The king feared of the four friends, Nandini, Bhairavi, Kishori, and Ranjan. So he sent one of them to another town, Vajragarh. He was afraid that if they will live together, they can raise their voices, organize, and agitate a revolt against his rule.
But what the king did not know is that he can kill one's body, he can create distances, but he cannot kill the ideologies of the soul.
My friend, why is there a strange light on your face today?
News Bhairavi. My childhood friend Ranjan is coming today.
How?
Let me tell you, every day a pair of cuckoos come
scribe says that if a feather of them find its way into my room, then I will know Ranjan is coming. And today, as soon as I woke up, I found the feather on my bed.
Well, they say Kumu's lips are an omen of victory. No more time for this. Let me get back to work.
No, we can't possibly allow Ranjan to enter the borders of Yakshapuri. Our king will fire us if he enters the borders of Yakshapuri.
I put him to work in the tunnels of the budget guard.
Well, what happened?
He said that no one can make him work without his own will. The fellow doesn't know what fear is. Threaten him and he bursts out of it.
Did you set him to work with the diggers?
He cheered them up and lifted the pressure from their minds too and asked them to have a digger's dance and sing.
Diggers dance? What on earth is that?
Stop this! Get back to work!
How did the mad fellow manage to escape Kashagar and come up here? Is it a dungeon on the road? Impudent rascal! He doesn't even dare to hide! He must not be Chandri today! Where are you going?
To arrest Ranjan.
Listen, don't arrest Ranjan. Send him on to the king's Raj Darbar.
He refuses to obey our God even in the king's name.
Tell him Nandini has been enslaved. Let's go.
Yes. In the world of numbers, there is also a sunshine with touch of life, spirit of joy in life and work, unity and fearlessness.
A group of friends, Nandini, Ranjan, Bhairavi and Kishori, came together and made the sacrifice to break the walls of darkness and untruth. This sacrifice didn't go to waste. It caused revolution that changed a dark system forever. Listen, O king behind networks. There is your court of judgment. Open its door to me. Nandini, be ready to see her. What? Handcuffs on your wrist? My friend, where are they taking you like that?
It's nothing to be anxious about. Guards, please wait. Let me have a few words. My friend, at last I'm free.
Bhairavi, I don't understand your words.
When I used to be afraid and avoid danger at every step, I used to be at liberty. But that liberty was the worst form of bondage.
But what offense have you committed that they should take you away like that?
I spoke out the truth today. At last, these chains will bear the witness of my freedom.
Then let them bind me too and take me away with you. I'm sure I can convince them to take me in exchange for you.
Don't be silly, girl. There's work for you, and dangerous one. Ranjan has come. You must find him.
Come on, guys, let's not linger anymore.
Nandini, what should I say to Ranjan when I meet him? Give him this flower of red oleander.
Our Bhairavi came away with you. Where is she now?
She has been made a prisoner.
You witch, you must have given information against her. You are the spy. What else are you doing here?
Every person suspects every other person in this cursed place. Yet, I have always trusted you, Nandini.
Bhairavi has got into trouble for coming with me.
Then why did you decoy her away from us, you evil human creature?
Because she said she wanted to be free.
A precious kind of freedom you have given her?
There is no point of sitting idle now. Let's gather a big crowd from village and break the prison gates.
The time has come to show your courage, but not by arguing with each other. Come along with me. I'll come with you. Ranjan!
Oh, my friend Kishori. Where are you going?
I was searching for you. They have arrested Bhairavi.
What?
And Nandini have sent these flowers for you.
Oh, even though she is in prison.
Huh? What are you talking about? Nandini is not in the prison.
But they told me that she is in prison.
It was all their conspiracy.
For the sake of our friendship and an Yakshapuri, let her to the castle. I am Sita's governor.
Guard, come with me! Oh, Ranjan, finally you are caught in our trap!
Open the door. The time has come.
But not for you. Go away from here.
It cannot wait for another time.
You want Ranjan. I know. I have asked the governor to fetch him at once. But don't remain standing at the door when I come out for the worship. For then you'll run great risk.
I have cast away all fear.
Today is the flag worship. Don't distract my mind. Get away from the door.
The king finally came out of his hiding.
To see what he did not see coming.
These traitors, they have deceived me. Call the governor. Bring it to me. Handcuff.
The king finally realizes that what he had been living was an illusion of money and luxury, but not life.
He feels deceived by his own machine-like system that made him believe something which was not true at all.
I have killed youth all these years with all my strength. The curse of youth, death, is upon me. And for what?
Time for the last fight between you and me.
Trust me, Nandini. Make me a comrade today.
What would you have me do?
The fight has already begun.
They won't hear of letting Bhairavi go off.
What is the matter with you? What is that crowd up for?
To break the prison gates, we will lose our life, but shame for that!
Why should you for that? I too am out for breaking.
You too come among us, Arvind Nandini.
That is what I'm still alive for, Pagulal. But Ranjan and Kishore.
Oh, horror. Are those Ranjan and Kishori?
The governor forgot that when the common people of the civilization raise their voices, hold their weapons, and unite, it's impossible for even the greatest fighters to win.
There comes the governor's troops to conquer the throne. We must have it prepared beforehand. They have used my own power against me.
My men have not turned up yet.
They will never come. The governor is sure to get round them.
Villagers, let's finish the cruel regime with our bloodshed. Attack!
Nandini!
The troops were ready to attack, but the governor was not there, and he had some different plans.
Stop. We surrender.
Nandini, where are you?
They are gone forever.
Gone? They're not gone. Their bravery still lives within our hearts.
We will not let their sacrifice go in vain. Now, we'll build a government where no one is just a number, where everyone is treated equally, where there is no oppression, where there is no gap between rich and poor.
Yes!
Power fell before the people's unity and courage. Perfection lies in humanity, not machines.
Like the red oleander flower, happiness cannot be grown in lifeless wealth and greed. It is a fruit of human sympathy and sacrifice.
As the old walls fell, people began building a better tomorrow.
Where voices long unheard finally found their way back to the light.
ऐसा
12 Pride. Your performance beautifully captured the spirit of courage and humanity. Truly commendable. As one story concludes, another begins. Equally powerful and deeply moving. Not all bonds are tied by blood. Some are woven quietly through kindness, memory, and the innocence of the human heart. Penned by Rabindranath Tagore, Kabuliwala is a tender tale that transcends borders and time. It brings to light the unexpected friendship between a little girl and a man far from his homeland, bound not by relation, but by empathy. It gently reminds us that beneath every stranger lies a story, and within every heart, a shared feeling.
Welcome to the labyrinth of Calcutta, where the humid air is thick with the scent of monsoon and ancient secrets. Let the lights dim, for a story is about to unfold. The story of a girl whose curiosities knew no bounds, seeing wonders in every corner of the world. Beside her is a writer who believed he understood the world until he discovered that the deepest truths are inscribed in ink. They are carved moment by agonizing moment into the marrow of the human heart. Please join us as we unfold the story.
काजू ले लो, बादाम ले लो, पिस्ता ले लो। काजू ले लो, बादाम ले लो, पिस्ता ले लो।
He's a Kabuliwala and he has come from a faraway place to sell his dry fruits.
Little one, don't be afraid of me. I am not a giant. I don't carry children away. I only carry almonds, raisins, and stories from my land.
Really? You don't take little girls away?
No, never. I only take money in exchange of my dry fruits.
What is your name?
My name is Rahman. And what's yours?
My name is Minnie. Now tell me, what is inside your bag?
Inside my bag, there's a big elephant.
That's not possible. How can be there a big elephant in your bag?
Maybe it is a very small elephant.
Nah, you're joking. But I like your joke.
Fear soon dissolved, replaced by a deep, genuine curiosity. An unlikely friendship began to blossom, not with their grand promises, but on the simple, steady exchange of stories and laughter.
Rahman Chacha, do you have a house like mine? Do you have a little girl like me? Does she talk all day? Does she trouble you like I trouble my father?
Yes, I have a little daughter. She must be about your age now. She used to hold my hand and ask me many questions, just like you do.
Then she must be very nice. I think I would like her. What is her name?
Her name, something I carry in my heart every day.
Why don't you bring her here? We can play together.
She lives very far away in my country.
Then you must miss her a lot.
Yes, very much.
Not tell me. Will you go to your in-laws' house?
Yes, and when I will go, I will beat my father-in-law.
You're so funny. I will tell everyone that you beat your father-in-law.
Meaning, come inside at once. How many times have I told you not to talk to that man? I don't like this at all. Why does Minnie talk to that man every day? He's a stranger. What if he kills her? What if he takes her away?
You worry too much. He's a simple man. And he has just come from a faraway place. And he just finds comfort in talking to Minnie.
But we cannot trust everyone so easily. You don't understand. I'm a mother. I cannot ignore these fears.
Sometimes kindness is safer than suspicion.
Within the safety of this home, their bond was a sanctuary of trust. But outside these walls, the world is loud, suspicious, and unforgiving. We step now into the harsh native reality where a single moment of confusion is about to shatter their peace.
Hey, have you been asleep, Minnie? I can't find her anywhere.
The door of the house was wide open. I saw a tall man wearing turban coming this way. That must be Kabuliwala.
Don't just stand still. Search everywhere. If he gets away with her, we'll never see her again.
Minnie, answer me, child. Don't be afraid.
There he is. He has Minnie with him. He was trying to run away with her.
Please listen to me. I found Minnie crying in the market. She was lost. I was only bringing back to her father.
Liar! You hid her behind her back until we caught you. You were trying to kidnap her?
Sir, you know me. Why would I even hurt her? She's just like my own daughter Razia.
Hey, are you okay, child? Are you fine? Then why you? I was so worried for you.
Sir, today's 10th, you promised to pay me and now you refuse.
I will not give you anything.
You cannot cheat me like this.
Stop right there. Drop the knife. You are under arrest.
Rahman Chacha, what are you doing? We have to take you.
I am going to my in-laws' house.
But will you come back, won't you?
Days turned into months, months into years. The little girl grew up and time quietly changed everything. The playful child of the past is now a grown woman. Today, she stands as a bride on a wedding day. Now the house adorned with the vibrant music of a wedding day. Yet, even as the drums beat for the bride, the past waits on the threshold. Having finally finished his long sentence, the Kabuliwala has come back one last time, seeking the little Minnie he left behind.
Baba, can I talk to you for a second?
happened, child?
Everything feels so surreal today. I feel happy, but also a little strange. It feels like I'm starting this new chapter and I'm leaving my childhood, my little Minnie, behind.
This is because today you are stepping into a new way of life, and my little girl is no longer little.
Will things have to change after today though?
Yes, but my love for you will never change.
Sahib, I have returned after many years. I wish to see Minnie once.
Rehman, Minnie is not the same child anymore.
Even then, may I see her just once?
Yes, Minnie, Minnie.
Yes, Baba?
Someone wants to meet you.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Hey little one, will you go to your in-laws' house?
Yes, but I'm sorry. Do I know you?
Sahib, this is my daughter's handprint. When I left home, she was just as small as Minnie once was.
You have been away for so long.
Yes, and today I have realized how much time I have lost.
Please, take some money, please. Please take it. Please go back to her. Don't lose any more time.
Who was he, Baba? And why was he so emotional?
Someone who loved his daughter just as much I love you.
We spend our lives measuring love in time, in years, in days, in hours. But we are wrong. Love is not a duration. Love is a weight. It is the echo of a handprint on a door. It is the silent ache of a father's longing that refuses to die, even when the world moves on. Some bonds are not built to endure, hidden in the quiet corners of the heart, waiting for the day the world finally goes still. Some stories never truly end. They only wait to be remembered.
That was a truly beautiful performance by Class 12 Competent. Your portrayal was heartfelt and deeply moving. You brought out the emotions of the story with great sincerity. As the flow of emotion continues, we move to yet another touching narrative. Shubha by Rabindranath Tagore is a simple yet profoundly emotional story of a young girl who feels deeply. In a world full of actions, her feelings make her different. Through her journey, Tagore reflects how society often fails to understand those who are different. She finds solace in nature, yet remains a stranger in a world that sees her as a burden. It is a haunting reminder that the greatest tragedy is not being unable to speak, but being unable to be heard. With this deeply moving theme, I now invite Class 12 Dynamic to present their performance.
आदरणीय प्रधानाचार्य जी, शिक्षकगण एवं मेरे प्रिय मित्रों, आप सभी का यहाँ हार्दिक स्वागत है। कक्षा 12 डायनेमिक के छात्रों द्वारा प्रस्तुत है श्री रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर की मानविक रचना शुभा।
ये कहानी एक ऐसी बालिका की है जिसके पास कहने को तो बहुत कुछ है, परंतु शब्द उसका साथ नहीं देते। इस कहानी के माध्यम से ये दर्शाया गया है कि समाज अक्सर बाहरी कमियों के आधार पर एक व्यक्ति के मूल्य को आंकता है और उसकी संवेदनाओं, उसकी अंतर मन की गहराई को समझने में असफल रहता है।
शुभा केवल एक पात्र ही नहीं, बल्कि उन सभी अनकही आवाजों का एक प्रतीक है जो सुनने जाने की क्षमा कर रही है। तो आइए इसी भाव के साथ इस प्रस्तुति की शुरुआत करते हैं।
उसका नाम था सुभाषिणी, यानी मीठा बोलने वाली। परंतु किस्मत का खेल तो देखो, बेचारी के कंठ से विधाता ने शब्द ही छीन लिए थे। समाज के लिए वो एक खामी थी, परंतु इस नदी और इन पेड़ों के लिए वो उनकी अपनी सहेली थी। शुभा बोल नहीं सकती थी, परंतु उसका मौन किसी चीख से कम नहीं था।
अरे शुभा, आज देर कर दी। आज एक भी मछली कांटे में नहीं फंसी। शायद मछलियां भी तुम्हारा इंतजार कर रही हैं।
तुम यहाँ पे बैठ गई? घर में काम का पहाड़ पड़ा है और तू इस मछुआरे से बातें कर रही है। कुछ शर्म लिहाज है कि नहीं? शुभा, कभी अपनी माँ के चेहरे की लकीरें भी देख लिया कर। तू बड़ी होती जा रही है और मेरा डर भी। तू मेरे घर की दीवारों पर लगा हुआ वो दाग है जो मैं चाह कर भी नहीं धो सकती। छोड़ मेरा हाथ।
अरे तुम दुखी मत हो। अच्छा है कि तुम बोल नहीं सकते हो, वरना तुम भी बाकी की तरह मेरा सिर खा जाती हो। तुम चुप रहती हो, इसलिए शायद मुझे ही मेरी बातें सुनाई देती।
जहाँ शब्द हार जाते हैं, वहीं से शुभा की दुनिया शुरू होती है।
माड़ीकर, हम और इंतजार नहीं कर सकते। तुम्हारी बेटी अब बच्ची नहीं रही।
क्या इरादा है तुम्हारा? क्या उस गुंगी को उम्र भर माथे पे मरोगे?
भाई, मैं कोशिश कर तो रहा हूँ, पर कोई रिश्ता
कैसे मिलेगा? दोष तुम्हारी परवरिश में है। इस लड़की के कारण हमारे गांव की बहुत बदनामी हो रही है। अगर इसे अगले महीने तक विदा ना किया तो हम तुम्हें बिरादरी से बाहर कर देंगे।
याद रखना माड़ीकर, भूखा पानी बंद हुआ तो कहीं मुंह दिखाने लायक नहीं बचोगे। इसे कहीं भी ले जाओ, मगर यहाँ से विदा करो।
समाज की आवाज अक्सर इंसानियत से ऊंची हो जाती है और इसी शोर में किसी की खामोशी दब जाती है। एक पिता का दिल मजबूर था और एक बेटी का मौन उसकी सबसे बड़ी सजा बन गया था।
अरे हम आ गए।
अब हमारे पास दूसरा कोई रास्ता नहीं बचा है। गांव वाले हमारा जीना हराम कर देंगे। मैंने कलकत्ता में एक दोस्त से बात की है, कहा है एक लड़का है, उसे लड़की की सुंदरता से मतलब है, आवाज से नहीं।
पर वो सच जान गए तो
क्या करूं? इसे कुएं में फेंक दूं? हम सच नहीं बताएंगे, उसे गहनों में लाद देंगे और रेशमी कपड़ों से ढक देंगे उसकी खामोशी। कल भोर होते ही हम यहाँ से निकलेंगे।
शुभा के लिए एक नया जीवन बचा जा रहा था, पर उसकी नींद में छुपा था डर और छल। शुभा की खामोशी को जेवर एवं रेशमी कपड़ों से छुपाया जा रहा था, जैसे कि वो कोई सच नहीं बल्कि एक दोष हो।
सुबह बेटा जरा इधर आना। बेटा, तेरी दोनों बहनों की शादी हो गई है और अब मैं चाहता हूँ कि तू भी शादी कर ले। गांव वाले हम पे बहुत दबाव बना रहे हैं और अब जरूरी भी हो गया है। मैंने तेरे लिए कलकत्ता में एक लड़का देखा है, तू अपना सारा सामान बांध ले, कल सुबह होते ही हम कलकत्ता के लिए निकलेंगे।
पिताजी, मुझे मत भेजिए। ये नदी मेरी माँ है, ये हरियाली मेरा संसार है। उस अनजानी भीड़ में मेरी चुप्पी का गला घोट दिया जाएगा। क्या मैं कोई वस्तु हूँ जिसे आप कहीं भी जाके त्याग देंगे?
मुझे माफ करना बेटा, लेकिन मेरे पास दूसरा कोई चारा नहीं बचा।
शुभा समझ चुकी थी कि अब उसका संसार उससे छिनने वाला था। ये नदी, ये हरियाली और ये शांत किनारा, सब कुछ अब बस एक स्मृति बनकर रह जाएगा। और उसी टूटे हुए मन के साथ वो आखिरी बार प्रताप के पास गई, इस आशा के साथ कि शायद कोई उसे रोक ले।
अरे शुभा, इतनी देर गई, यहाँ क्या कर रही हो? देखो, आज मछलियां भी कांटे में नहीं फंस रही। शायद आज नदी भी उदास है। तो मुझे ऐसे क्या देख रही हो, जैसे तुम कुछ मांगना चाहती हो? क्या तुम्हें भी मेरी मछलियां चाहिए? अरे अरे, क्या कर रही हो? हाथ छोड़ो, कांटा हिल जाएगा, मछलियां भाग जाएंगी। जाओ, घर जाओ, बहुत देर हो गई है, कल मिलते हैं।
प्रताप के लिए वो एक साधारण शाम थी। उसे इस बात की जानकारी नहीं थी कि शुभा उससे अपनी अंतिम विदाई मांगने आई थी। शुभा चाहती थी कि प्रताप उसे रोक ले, उससे कहे कि वह ना जाए, परंतु प्रताप की दुनिया उस मछली के कांटे तक सीमित थी और शुभा का दर्द उस खामोश परंतु अत्यंत गहरे नदी के पानी के समान था, जिसे कोई नाप न सका।
उस रात के बाद सब कुछ थोड़ा बदल सा गया। शुभा को उसके अपने संसार से दूर ले जाया गया, एक ऐसे शहर में जिसमें उसकी खामोशी को छुपाना था। और फिर एक नए जीवन की शुरुआत के नाम पर उसे एक अनजाने से बंधन में बांधने की तैयारी शुरू हो गई।
बारात आती ही होगी, और सुनो, ढंग से सजाना, नहीं तो 1 रुपया नहीं दूंगी। वैसे भी जितना खर्चा मेरी दोनों बेटियों की शादी में नहीं हुआ, उतना तो इस गूंगी की शादी में हो गया है। पर खैर, एक चीज तो अच्छी है कि हमें इससे छुटकारा मिलेगा और गांव वालों के ताने भी सुनने नहीं पड़ेंगे।
अरे सुनती हो, पूजा की थाली तैयार करो, बारात आती ही होगी।
अरे भाई जल्दी लेके आओ शुभा को, बाराती आ गए हैं। शुभा जल्दी आओ, तुम्हारा दूल्हा इंतजार कर रहा है। लीजिए आ गई। बेटा तुम बड़ी सुंदर लगी, किसने सजाया तुम्हें? जी वो, अरे रुक जाइए, इसको बोलने दीजिए। जी वो थोड़ा शर्माती है। शर्माती है या बोल ही नहीं सकती? क्या मतलब शर्माती है? आपको नहीं पता ये गूंगी है?
क्या? भारी कंठ, तू हमें धोखा देना चाहता था। धिक्कार तुझ पे।
तू इस पत्थर की मूरत को हमारे घर की बहू बनाना चाहता था? ये शादी नहीं हो सकती। चलो बेटा।
ये मंडप छोड़ने मत जाइए, इस समाज में हमारी बहुत बदनामी होगी। नहीं, ये शादी नहीं होगी।
मिल गई तुझे संतुष्टि? यही तो चाहती थी तू। तू हमारी सबसे बड़ी गलती थी शुभा, सबसे बड़ी गलती। ना जाने पिछले जन्म में क्या पाप किए जो भगवान ने तेरी जैसी संतान दी। चलिए।
शुभा की रोशनी ने उसे ठुकरा दिया, समाज ने उसे कुचल दिया। शुभा वापस अपनी पुरानी सहेली उस चंचल नदी के किनारे आई, परंतु आज उसे वो नदी भी थोड़ी पराई सी लगने लगी थी।
हर कहानी अपना अंजाम खुशी या दर्द में ढूंढ लेती है, परंतु शुभा की कहानी एक निशब्द सच्चाई बनकर रह गई। सबसे बड़ी त्रासदी ये नहीं थी कि उसके पास शब्द नहीं थे, बल्कि ये थी कि उसकी खामोशी को कोई समझ न सका। धन्यवाद।
We would be honored to hear from you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all my dear students and teachers. Today, when I got up, being a Bengali, already I had a lot of messages on the birth anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore. And when I came to school, I saw my students wearing saris, beautiful saris in the style of Bengalis. So, you know, somewhere at the back of my mind, I felt that my children are really happy to adopt the culture of our country, be it Bengal, be it any other place. And with such kind of presentations, I am sure when you enacted a play, you must have read the play. Or did your teacher give you the gist of the play? You read the play. Who wrote the scripts? The students wrote the scripts and some of them are already raising the hand. And that means they have done research work to bring up this presentation. So my intention is solved. You know, we all talk about NEP, where we talk about experiential learning. When you do it, you learn it. When you experience, you learn it. But with one of the plays where the parrot was asked to narrate the sun rises in the east and he did not know the reason why, I just want to tell you that such kind of concepts which now we are talking in NEP was taken up by Rabindranath Tagore way back. The thought of starting Shantiniketan Vishwa Bharati University was the students will stay close to the nature in an informal way to learn, and that is what you all did it today. So Rabindranath Tagore was not only a poet, not only a writer, he had a vision of education in a different manner. And that vision we are seeing has been incorporated presently in our policies. But you know, way back it was thought. So that means he was really a great person. And today when you acted, you must have thought of so many things. Some of you, before leaving school in class 12, may have been on the stage for the first time. How many of you? Oh my God, see the numbers. See the numbers. At least before leaving school, they got an opportunity to be on the stage, to present something. And you know, when you present a play or a program or an event, each person is important. Writing of script, direction, costume designing, maybe the making of the props, PPT. And I must tell you, the props were excellent in all the plays. I was just telling Gopal ma'am that when we have a function and we ask our children to bring white saris and red border, Vinita ma'am and Ashu ma'am come to me telling me, ma'am, aapke paas hai to de dijiye. They find it difficult. But aaj to mere sare bacche pehan ke aaye, kafi bacche, isn't it? So that means if we have a will to do something, we can do it. And this is the beginning. Remember, class 12 is not the end of your journey. Now, when you step out of school, you will get so many opportunities in your institutes where you will be going for higher education. And the confidence that you have developed, maybe with a small role, each one of you were excellent. And this confidence will help you to perform better. Whenever you go out, you will be able to organize programs, you will be able to make more props, and I could see the technique with which the last play had made the river. Yes. So brilliant. Even I had an idea that we could have used a sari, blue sari, and used it as a wave, but your hard work was better than mine. Mine was a shortcut. Your hard work was visible. The cage that you had made, then I don't remember so many things. But everything was excellent and brilliant. And I must congratulate all my students. Whether you were on the stage or not, I could see some of you sitting there. Some of you were working behind in the classrooms. Some of you must have helped in making the props. So I must congratulate each and every child sitting here. And I know that you have enjoyed today's program as much as I have done. I congratulate all the class teachers, and also I would like to appreciate the stamp idea that we got for Kabuliwala. So you know, and some of you were terrific actors. I won't name them because children may not like those whom I lead. But some of you were terrific actors, and I was just telling Gopa ma'am that we can have one enactment of Rabindranath Tagore for our annual function, wherein we will use the students from all the sections. It will not be one section presentation. Though I may have been partial by saying कि एक presentation हम as it is कर ले, but now we will think of something better. एक और presentation maybe where we now I think today we have read 6 books. We saw the enactment and we read the 6 books written by Tagore. So maybe we will read the 7th one when it is performed on stage for our annual function. I leave the responsibility to class 12 teachers. So that play will come from the class 12 teachers because the teachers have also done their best. Each one of you. Because I know it is very difficult with class 12. I remember when last year we started this idea of a presentation by class 12. Because I told my in charges, मैं क्लास 12 से एक प्रेजेंटेशन में करवा लूंगी बिकॉज ऐसे कितने बच्चे होंगे जो 12th में आ गए हैं लेकिन उन्होंने कभी स्टेज पे चढ़ के कुछ किया नहीं. तो लेट इट बी एन अपॉर्चुनिटी जहां हम सिलेक्ट नहीं करेंगे, टीचर्स नहीं रहेंगे, आप अपने से सब कुछ करेंगे और यू विल कम अप ऑन द स्टेज. सो यू विल ऑल्सो नो कि मैं अगर स्टेज में नहीं पहुंच पाई या मैं स्टेज पे नहीं पहुंच पाया तो इट इज नॉट द फॉल्ट ऑफ द स्कूल एंड टीचर्स. बट टुडे यू गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू परफॉर्म and that was the best part of your school life. You will remember today's day throughout your life, throughout your journey, whenever you see the photographs. So last year I was just telling that when we started the presentation, all the class 12 teachers came rushing to me, ma'am बच्चे तैयार नहीं हो रहे हैं, and they found it very difficult to get the students ready. But their performance also was the best, and this year's concept was also different and it was the best. So I know my children, my teachers are really talented. They just need a push. And I, along with my coordinators, are there to give them a push. I must also congratulate the senior coordinator, Gopa ma'am. She had been running around fighting with teachers to get the rehearsals done. It's difficult, I know, and the other coordinators who were putting substitutions. So that is also a difficult job. And of course, Ashu ma'am and Vinita ma'am are always there to yes, their inputs, and without that तो icing नहीं हो पाता है केक में. So thank you so much. Shankar Bhaiya is always there. I was just telling Gopa ma'am, now next time I will have a presentation जहाँ पे उसी क्लास के बच्चे माइक भी हैंडल करेंगे. तो maybe for class 11 when they come to 12, it will be an experience. And शंकर भैया फेथ करके आपको देना पड़ेगा बच्चों को. Okay. So मैं कह रही थी नेक्स्ट ईयर जब हमारे बच्चे ऐसा प्रेजेंटेशन करेंगे तो उन्हीं के क्लास के बच्चे माइक और लाइट भी हैंडल करेंगे, सीखेंगे. तो आपको फेथ करके देना पड़ेगा और बच्चों को फेथ करके अच्छे से सारी चीजें मेंटेन करनी होगी बिकॉज इट इज देयर स्कूल. It is their property and you cannot destroy the property. I must also thank Mrinal sir for all the computer related assistance that they have given. Thank you once again. Thank you everyone. Thank you Ishika for being a wonderful host, singer, actor, everything.
Thank you, ma'am, for your truly inspiring and insightful words. Your guidance has not only enriched this occasion, but also left us with thoughts to reflect upon and carry forward. As we approach the conclusion of this beautiful celebration, it is now time to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this event possible. I would now like to respectfully invite Soumitra Guha sir to present the vote of thanks. May I request you, sir, to kindly come forward and address the gathering.
Ma'am has already proposed the vote of thanks, so I need not say much. I would just begin with two things. Ma'am talked about Bengali style of wearing sari. This style is typically Bengali, and I would like to add that this Tagore family, they say, it is generally said that every third person in the Tagore family was a phenomena in himself or herself. It was not only Rabindranath Tagore, he was just one of them, one of the luminaries of the Tagore family of Jonashako, Calcutta. Now, the present day style of wearing sari that you can see your teachers, your mothers and everybody wearing, it was again an outcome from the Tagore family. Jnanada Nandini Devi, Rabindranath Tagore's sister-in-law, she had given this style of wearing the sari, the modern style of wearing the sari, and it was a blend of the Parsi and Bengali style of wearing sari. So this is one thing that I would like to add. And another thing, you saw Kabuliwala. Kabuliwalas were people who used to come from Afghanistan. They used to come from Kabul, Afghanistan, all the way to India. And Pakistan was a part of our country, so I'm not naming it separately here. So they used to sell dry fruits. So that is one identity. Another identity is that they used to be moving banks. They used to give loans. And then, you saw that, that incident where the police came and all. So,
Actually, this is the right way of wearing the Bengali.
This is the Bengali style. And the style that you people are wearing, that is the one that was blended by Jnanada.
This is the actual Bengali style where there is no pleat. The one that you wear comes from Devdas movie. I just wanted to show this because जब हम कल्चर की बात करते हैं तो हर चीज हमें सही जानना चाहिए.
So this is the typical Bengali style, and the other style that I was talking about is a blend between the Parsi and the Bengali style. And now Kabuliwala I was telling you, so Kabuliwalas were moving banks and they used to give loans to the people and people used to take loans from them. Now they used to keep on asking for the payment of the loans back to them, and that is why there is a proverb in Bengali, somebody who asks for money, पैसा दो मतलब लोन नहीं भी दिया है तो भी अगर पैसा दो तो कहते हैं कि क्या काबुली वाला बने फिर रहे हो. So that's saying in Bengali. Anyway, now coming to what I have come to do over here, proposing the vote of thanks. So I begin with I thank all and one present over here. I thank Principal Ma'am, whose inspiration and encouragement always gives us the move to do something. I thank the coordinators, Madam, who plan meticulously about certain ideas, certain plans that bring out the talent of the children from time to time and class to class. I thank the parents. The parents cannot be forgotten, who may not be here. They are behind the scene, but the encouragement, the motivation and the traditions that they imbibe in their children, that the children, they play such roles and they do such things in order to come up with their talents. So I thank the parents also. I know that the school has gone over, so I would not take much time. And then I would come to thank the children. The children had actually practiced a great deal their plan, their activities, the way they have done. I had seen class 12D, because I am the class teacher of class 12D, I have seen class 12 dynamic practice. When I used to see the technical side with the mic and all, so it was a wonderful program, and I thank everybody, all of you again. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. As we come to the end of this beautiful celebration, let us carry forward the light of knowledge, the rhythm of art, and the spirit of Rabindranath Tagore in our hearts. Thank you to everyone for being a part of this memorable event. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.